Hey everyone, Crumplecorn here with my first Artifact Assault commentary from the Revelations beta. As is the tradition, this is my very first game of Artifact Assault that you're watching, and I'll just kind of go over the basic design of the mode, because there's nothing worth commenting in this video because I don't know what I'm doing yet. I assume some basic familiarity with the team modes of Brotherhood, because that's what all the components of Artifact Assault are based on. If you don't know how they work, you're going to be kind of lost anyway. So basically this is like the first good team mode they've done. All the ones from Brotherhood are kind of not very good at all, except maybe Escort. Basically I think this is the first time they've taken an established design, which is capture the flag, and applied it to Assassin's Creed instead of trying to come up with something original. Pretty much every mechanic is borrowed from the existing team modes. It has the concept of just being a target and just being a pursuer, desynchronized compasses, having areas you must defend or must attack, all that kind of thing. One thing which I think is unique to this mode is that you don't win on score, you win on captures of the flag / artifact, whatever you want to call it. I don't think any of the old modes work that way. I think they're all purely score based. Anyway, the round structure where you switch from being either an attacker or defender is gone in this. Instead what they do is they split the map in two. You have your half of the map where you're a pursuer and you can kill any of the enemies who come into that side of the map, and you have the enemy side of the map where you are a target and they can kill you and you can only stun them. Obviously your flag is in your end and their flag is in their end. The basic idea is to go grab their flag and bring it back to your base, and that they're going to try to do the same. It's those captures that decide who wins the game. You can see the scoreboard up the top there. It's 0-0 at the moment, but that only counts artifact captures, not personal scores. If you end up with the same number of captures when the time limit runs out, then it will be decided based on who has the highest score, which team has the highest score. But aside from that, artifacts is the only thing that matters. So you may have noticed as I've been running around here that there is a big wall in the middle of the map that I've been running back and forth through, and the announcer says every time I pass through it, you are now a target, you are now a pursuer. That is the border between the two areas of the map, and you can literally walk right up to it, and as long as you don't cross it, you won't change status. Which leads to occasionally teams just standing on it, their side of the wall, looking at each other, and occasionally trying to offensive smoke each other and other shenanigans. As long as you're on your side of the wall, you can kill, so if they step so much as 1 foot over the wall, you should be able to kill them immediately. Sometimes it lags a little and they can stun you in your own territory, you can kill them in their territory, but usually just stepping over the boundary is enough. I suppose the first question is, how does the compass work? The compass will lead you, as long as you're in your own territory, the compass will lead you to any enemies who are in your territory. If they're in their own territory, they don't count as targets, so they won't show up on the compass at all. So the game will give you a count of how many enemies are in your territory and where they all are, as long as you're not close enough to the artifact to desync the compass, in which case obviously you can't tell where any of them are, although you do still get the number that are in your territory and whether or not they're in line of sight. In that regard, it's a lot like playing chest capture. Once you're in your own territory, if you assume the artifact is the chest, it's essentially the same idea. Obviously if you go into their territory, then the roles are reversed, your compass disappears, you start hearing the whispers, and their compass is desynced near the artifact, so if any pursuers that are near the artifact won't be able to see where you are, they'll just have line of sight indicators and know the number of your team that are in their territory. The one exception to the setup is when you are carrying the enemy's artifact. In this case you stay a target until you either die or you deliver it to your base. Now what staying a target means is that even when you enter your own territory you are still a target. That means that their compass will still track you. Whether you're in your territory or theirs, it will track you. Whether they are in their territory or yours, it will still track you. So they can follow you right back to your base or hide somewhere in your base, and the compass will track you and they can kill you right before you score. This also means that if you happen to run into the enemy flag carrier, you can't kill them if you're carrying your flag. I have heard reports that people have managed to do this, but I've tried it and it hasn't worked, and I don't think you're supposed to be able to. That was probably a bug in the cases where it has happened. You're just a target. It's as if you're in their territory the whole time. And the opposite, of course, is true. If the enemy steals your artifact, you'll find that you will have a compass even while in enemy territory. You can track them from anywhere as long as you aren't too close to your own artifact, and you can kill them anywhere. Obviously, if you go into enemy territory to chase someone who's stolen your artifact, you are a target to everyone except the flag carrier. So you are still in a better position if you're carrying the artifact to be in your own territory than in the enemy territory. because if you're carrying the enemy artifact in enemy territory, your allies can only try to stun people to help you, whereas if you get back to your own territory, they can start killing the people who are chasing you. The instant you deliver the artifact, you immediately turn back into a pursuer, which means that if someone is right on your tail as you score, you can immediately turn around and stab them in the face. You may have noticed a big icon above my head when I've been carrying the artifact. When you are in high profile and not disguised, if you're carrying the artifact icon will appear above your head. So on top of having the compass to lead them to you, the game will point out exactly who you are, making it very, very simple to track you. The way to get rid of this is to hide. You can either use disguise or blend. I'm not sure if just walking is enough to get rid of it. I can't recall because I don't do much walking when I'm trying to get the artifact back to my base. But I knew that blending and disguise will do it. The advantage of disguise is that it will hide that icon even if you're running. Whereas obviously if you're in a blend group you have to walk. Now the compass will still lead them to you, but once you are hidden or disguised, it basically becomes like wanted. So they have a compass to lead them to you, but they have to figure out which one you are if you're disguised or if there's more than one of you. So stealth can play a critical role in getting the artifact back to your base in one piece. The other use of stealth, of course, is getting to the enemy artifact, and this is basically the same as chest capture. Because they don't have a synchronized compass, you can kind of sneak up on any defenders that are actually at the artifact just by disguising or getting into a blend group. They'll know you're there because of line of sight, but they won't know exactly where you are, so use that however you see fit. You can disguise and try to walk past them, hop into a blend group and disguise. That's always quite effective. The icon won't appear over your head if you steal the artifact while disguised, and I don't think it'll pop up if you're blended but you look like yourself. They will get the notification that someone has stolen it, but if you are walking around in that area, and there's always plenty of NPCs walking around in the area, so as long as you're disguised or blended, the game won't point out to them that it is you who has taken the artifact, so you can kind of try to sneak out while they try to figure out what's going on. And all you have to do is get a little distance away and then you can just leg it and it should all work out fine. I'm going to keep the specific discussion of offensive and defensive strategies to videos for offense and defense. They're all pretty obvious, but I'll go through them anyway in videos where I actually know what I'm doing and I play pretty well. In terms of general discussion of the mode, it's the first team mode I actually like. At this point, I'm kind of getting sick of it because I kind of played it out once I discovered it. It was, I think it was the Watcher who recommended it to me, because I normally avoid team modes. I did intend to give it a go, but I wasn't holding very high hopes because all the other team modes have been kind of rubbish. As I say, except for Escort, which was okay. The only problem with Escort is that it's the same two roles over and over again. Poison Disguise on attack and gunning people down on defense. The nice thing about Artifact Assault is it's such a bigger mode that there's still fixed roles for you to play. There's a few different defensive things you can do, there's a few different offensive things you can do, but there's more of them and you can switch dynamically between them as you see fit. So it's a much more free mode. If you decide halfway through the game that actually you want to be suicidally running into the enemy base, you can do that. If you decide halfway through you just want to stand around killing people, you can do that. It has another nice feature of Escort is that it mixes extreme stealth with extreme action, because on attack you're trying to be stealthy and on defense you're just shooting people. This mode does the same, except that you can do it in both areas. When you're defending, you can either go for kind of a stealthy defense where you stand around in areas that are likely to pass by and try to get high point kills, or you can just run around in areas where the compass works and try to kill anyone who passes by. And on offense you can just run for it and try to get in and out using pure free running, or you can go for a very stealthy approach and escape. So there's a lot of diversity in what you can do in the mode, and a lot of freedom of switching between what you're doing, and that's all just playing solo with randoms. I haven't done any real coordinated team stuff. I have played with people I know, but there was no real coordination going on. So if you actually got a team that was coordinated, you could probably pull off some pretty fancy stuff in this mode. So I think it's the first really good team mode they've added. It's good fun, it's very big, it's very diverse, it's very dynamic. It rewards skill in stealth and free running. They really should have just done a mode based on established team-based modes before now. I've never done commentaries on team modes before, so if you're the sort of person who doesn't really like the team modes, that alone should say something about this mode. So I would recommend that if you're not into the team modes, do give this a go, because it is a lot of fun and it is quite different from the existing team modes. Well, the game's over and there's not much more to say in general. Next videos will be about offense and defense in particular, but for now that's it. So thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.